You know, daily as we make progress in the journey of life, we must learn to love and care for ourselves better, because that's when the best comes out of us.
I believe that happy girls are the richest ones, yes. And I also believe that the gift of a brand new day is a gift. The fact that we're up, you're up, is a brand new gift, and we're excited about it. And yes, I believe in miracles.
Absolutely. Good morning and welcome to the Wonder Women edition of the show. There's a new knowing women across the world. You know, women know their worth and what they're capable of accomplishing. Amazing.
Absolutely. And that's why we have created this special hub where women meet to bring a bright start to your day. We have all the gorgeous ladies on the show today. Well, except to say, of course.
That's right. So today there's myself, there's Winfrey, there's MM.
Yeah.
And
there's the Wake Up Nigeria show.
We're the only ones in the spotlight. We typically ask the guys to excuse us so that we can give you a Wonder Women edition. Just once every week, not too much. You know, they say a little of everything is the real spice. Yeah. My name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
And I'm Emil Kocha. Do not forget that you can stream the show live on all our social media platforms at tvcentertainment.tv. You're on Facebook and at TVC Connect on other platforms. You could also catch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
All right. You can also download the TVC app on the Android and iOS stores, so you can catch up with old episodes of the show. That, of course, is on YouTube at TVC Entertainment. Okay?
Yeah. So let's let them in on what we have today.
Okay, so today we begin with nutrition, all right? We'll be discussing the best food for the new moms. That's postpartum. Looks like we've been doing a lot of that lately.
Right?
And it will be with Elizabeth Onyema. We can't wait to have that conversation.
She's a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach. And today we will be looking at how to reconnect with your partner after a misunderstanding. Feels like she's talking to me.
Well, it's a lovely morning, and we know quite well that soon enough it will be fuller than this. Cold. I feel cold.
Trust me, I like this weather. I'm loving it.
Sia.
And it please not end.
No.
Yes.
It's a chilly morning for me.
The joy of waking up, you know, under your sheets in the morning.
Look at her. Look at her.
Chilly.
Association of those who will put their AC on full blast.
My dear.
And then they will be using duvet. Like, why waste the electricity? Just... Okay, so there's something that we were discussing on the platform a couple of days ago and then yesterday again. And it had to do with an interesting story. I'm just going to summarize it. So this man traveled for about 7 years. And while abroad, he married another woman, supposedly for documents. Now, you know quite well that when you get married to someone, you're not going to be sleeping in like 8 rooms down the hall, especially in such a situation. So, of course, there will definitely be a level of intimacy. And then he left his wife here with children. And he had his family members policing his wife to ensure that she stayed faithful while he had a wife there. And so it brings to, you know, to fore the usual question of, is it a situation where people believe that women are, shall I say, statues? Okay. So you're seen as, okay, you're being virtuous is seen as, you know, you being able to, in quotes, hold yourself. Now, let's remember that according to law, if there's a separation for as good as 7 years, no, even 7 years, like I'm even saying, if you can't find your partner for 7 years, the person is assumed dead. So the marriage is over.
It's nullified.
And if you want to get a divorce, 2 years of separation, is more than enough. And so a woman is supposed to be, in quotes, understanding. But how many men can actually tolerate it? You know, a woman travels abroad, marries a man for papers, and then leaves him here with the children.
To be honest, I actually know a family who did. Yes. So he worked their family abroad. The wife, you know, got married to a white man just to get their papers sorted and all of that. And I think they're still married. I really do not understand the situation with them abroad, but I know that he's still here in Nigeria.
Wow, and she's married there with it.
So I think it's all about the understanding at the end of the day, except if you now become selfish and then you decide to, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So they say there's nothing new under the sun. Right. Obviously, this is not a new one. But what is new is what the weather has for us today, so we should check that out now. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, we're focusing on the political space as preparations continue to build ahead of the 2023 elections. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised not to allow intimidations and interference of any sort during the 2023 elections. The president was speaking at the State House when he received some governors of the All Progressives Congress, led by Governor of Kebbi, Abubakar Bagudu, yesterday. He noted that the kind of leadership that thrives on intimidation will not benefit the nation, and the APC, under his leadership, will continue to respect Nigerians by ensuring that their votes count and the people's voice matter in choosing political leaders of different levels. He further assured Nigerians that the APC will continue to give strong political institutions that reflect their choices through non-interference in elections, citing outcome of elections in Ekiti, Anambra, and Osun states as cogent indicators.
We are very proud of our party's conduct, where every aspirant was given a free and fair opportunity. And because that is the case, our party men and women across the country are able to mobilize and participate in showing all party members that why they should remain in APC and work for APC and pray that APC continue to govern Nigeria. Mr. President appealed to ASU and said ASU should be mindful about the future of the next generation. He didn't play blame game. He spoke as a father. I think he even went further to say, even if ASU has been offended, they should please think about the next generation.
Now, political gladiators are also strategizing ahead of the forthcoming elections. Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has met with former President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja. The APC presidential flag bearer left for the residence of the former president from the Tinubu Shetima campaign office shortly after meeting with a forum of speakers of APC states and some governors. Now, after the closed-door meeting, Asiwaju Tinubu stated that the essence is to pay respect and homage to the elder statesman. He was accompanied by Chairman Progressive Governors Forum and Governor of Kebbi State Abubakar Bagudu, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong, Governors of Ogun State Zamfara, and some APC chieftains.
A nation of freedom of everything, speech, visitation, and collaboration, and respect to another statesman.
Outside Nigeria, the United Nations is seeking support to help Pakistan following epochal rains and flooding that have killed more than 1,100 persons, affected 33 million others, and destroyed homes and businesses. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, in a video message to launch the appeal of $160 million in Islamabad and Geneva, said that Pakistan is awash in suffering. Torrential rain has triggered flash floods that have crashed down from northern mountains, wrecking buildings and bridges and washing away roads and crops. The UN chief said the scale of the country's needs require the world's collective and prioritized attention, adding that Pakistan's flooding is a signal to the world to step up action against climate change.
Welcome back. We're, of course, about to go through the front pages of the newspaper, and we'll be starting with the Daily Trust, making the headlines here. Nigeria will stop importing oil by 2023, says KRA. And on the riders here, we have signs 20 years supply deal with Dangote. Says churches, mosques involved in pipeline vandalism. And it means improved economy, says experts, and reps uncover $10 billion oil revenue fraud. And at the bottom of the paper here, we have many trapped, 4 rescued as building collapses at Kano Market. And this is a picture story of the incident, which was yesterday. Pretty sad one there. And moving on, 25,000 Nigerians missing, says federal government ICRC. And we need to act fast on ASU strike, says Oshibajo. And on 2023, Buhari meets governors, says Nigerians will appreciate APC in 6 months. And at the top of the paper here, we have 115 killed, 73,379 displaced as floods hit 22 states, FCT. And another story here, London police, diplomats, others knock Wike, Tinubu, Atiku, others. And finally, on the Daily Trust, NCAA threatens to ground airlines over 24.3 billion naira debts. And that's all we can take on the Daily Trust newspaper. We move over to the News Direct. Making the headlines here, airlines owe NCAA fan 42 billion naira, $7.8 million. And as NCAA threatens to withdraw certificates of defaulting airlines, quit operation if you can't meet up financial obligation, Ojikutu tells operators. And you can find out more of that story on page 2 of the paper. And we also have here at the bottom of the paper, over 500,000 Nigerians affected by floods as Buhari pledges support to victims. And oil thefts, churches, mosques, security agencies, hosts, communities are culpable, says Kiori. And also here we'll have, okay, let's see what's on the top of the paper here. Fidelity Bank sets to acquire 100% equity in Union Bank UK PLC. And I'm bringing down APC structures in Rivers, says Wike. And finally, on the News Direct, we have Kwara flags off disbursement of 160.5 million naira cares, RA3 grants to SMEs. And that's all we can take on the front page of the papers this morning. Let's do some fun facts, shall we?
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, of course, and it's our WhatsApp and About segment. So today, I caught up on this very interesting story on Twitter, and I thought it was something that we could share. And of course, you watching at home would also like to hear your thoughts as well on it. There's a story. So yeah, a couple.
Okay.
Were in a nightclub, went to a nightclub, and in the course of their, whatever, guy hits the lady. The boyfriend hits the lady. Okay. And then because of the brawl, the security man decides to wade in, and I come on now, tries to separate and tries to, placate to the situation. A week later, boyfriend runs into the security guard. And we didn't know, so yeah, it was an accident situation. Obviously, it was a hit and run situation. Nobody knew who the person was driving the car. And after a month, it turns out that the boyfriend and girlfriend were seen together.
They're back together.
Back together.
Okay.
And after investigations based on the accidents, they find out that it was actually the boyfriend that was actually in the hit and run
situation.
Accident. He was the one driving the car.
And unfortunately, the bouncer, right?
Yeah.
He lost his life in the process.
He lost his life in the process. Now, it begs the question, why do victims go back to their abusers?
Okay, so I love watching ID, Investigative Discovery
Channel.
And there was something that was shown yesterday, incidentally. So this woman, her husband, from all the investigations, obviously killed her mom. But she was trying to prove that he did not, with the sister. And there's the belief that the sister is convincing her that, listen, you better bring my brother out. And so it keeps going back and forth. And she was trying to defend this same man until the guy is doing because the guy had already been convicted, he was in jail, so trying to bring him out. And then the man said, okay, you know what, if all the evidences finally point to the fact that it's your husband that did it, we're not going to help you pursue this case. But if it's not, we'll definitely do our best to help you. And all the evidences point to this, this husband of hers as being the one. The mother didn't like the guy because he was 10 years older than her. The girl was 21. They started dating when she was 17. And then they got married when she was 21 and he was 31. And the mom said, I don't like this guy. But the mother is rich and he likes to gamble. So he wanted to get the life insurance.
I'd like to hear Winfrey's thoughts on this.
No, which one? Where exactly do you want?
No, either one.
So the question now is, why do victims choose
fight for them? Why do you stick with them?
Their abusers?
Some people will say, there's some relationships that some women will actually tell you, my boyfriend doesn't beat me. I mean, not in this generation. They feel that is you are jealous.
That's the only way they
It's the way you feel. Do you understand? And I think it has a lot to do with upbringing in that situation and all of that. You feel, okay, someone should aggressively love you, right? Those kind of things happen. And then some people some people just decide to honestly see the best in people. Do you understand? And sometimes they can't help themselves, right? They just can't understand that, oh, this person that I've been with for so long, I love so much, and we've been through this together, can't do this thing. So when he says, oh, I'm sorry, you forget all of that. I mean, and it's a good thing to forgive, but then again, you have to be smart. When the situation of someone hitting you, causing you physical or mental, emotional harm, you literally need to...
So that part is where I was going to go to. So when you mentioned the hitting part, I know quite well that many women still, they feel, okay, he has not hit me yet. He only talks me down.
Just spanks
me. He only insults me. He only curses me. Yes. See, there are different ways to abuse somebody. And I'm not talking of just women, even men.
Which is worse?
Men suffer a lot of abuse. And it's actually mad.
Verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse in particular.
Physical abuse. Because in a lot of situations, we watch movies and the lady slaps the lady, and it's cute because, I mean...
Yeah, like, why did you do this? I just do like this. If you land with a man that will just hold you once, oh, Nishe Remo.
Anyway, in conclusion,
translated the violence into the other room. So
in conclusion, what I'm going to say is, if you are a victim and you know very much within yourself that you're in an abusive relationship, there are lots of agencies that you can go to for help. Yes, because it's a problem. You really need to seek help.
Yes.
And on that note, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this, on what we shared earlier on. Is it okay for a victim to continue to live with their abuser? Why do you think victims stick with their abusers? We'll be right back. Stay with us. And we are back. Yes, you're still tuned in to Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for our nutrition segment. You know, of course, that we bring you this every Wednesday. And today with us is Elizabeth Onyema, an advanced clinical weight loss expert and the CEO of Liz Weight Watchers and Hearty Foodie. She is a health and lifestyle entrepreneur who teaches nutrition, activity, and behavioral therapy. And today we'll be talking about the best foods for new moms postpartum. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Emma.
It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you, same here.
Now let's dive right into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember having, my two kids, Elsie, Eliana, after I had them.
Okay.
Almost immediately, I wanted to eat everything. But then there are also cases of new moms who are too neck deep into their postpartum depression that they do not even have appetites.
Yes.
They don't want to eat anything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, let's discuss what could be the issue and the best food options for new moms.
So the best food options for new moms basically should be a healthy diet, a balanced and healthy diet. So it must be more like an all-encompassing diet. They don't have to remove anything. When I'm talking about the balance, I'm talking about the three major macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat and oil. It is very wrong for a new mother to be thinking of, oh, I can't eat carbs right now because I'm trying to lose weight, and stuff like that. So it must be all-encompassing. And that is because every single thing a mother eats, the child eats. So there is this split balance between trying to ensure sure that you get what you want for yourself as a mother, and at the same time trying to cater for this little one who has just come through you. So at every given point in time, just as how when we carried our babies when they were in our womb, we try to protect them and care for them, so as much, so should it be afterwards, after giving birth, where we also still have to care for them and ensure that the foods we eat are foods that the children need to grow. And let's not forget, they are in their growing phase of their life. So they actually need these nutrients more than we do. We are more in the maintenance phase of our lives. We don't have our organs growing anymore. We are done growing, so we are done. We are set. We are adults now. But these kids are still growing, so they need all the nutrients and vitamins they can get from their mother's very diet as much as possible.
Now let's break down this foods. So you have mentioned the classes of these foods. Now let's break it down to the food items.
Yes.
For breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between.
Yes.
What would you recommend?
So let me tell you a quick funny story. I remember when I gave birth to my son, 12 and a half years ago, almost 13 years ago, I wasn't lactating, because you know how it is for first mother. Sometimes we just don't lactate immediately. And I remember my mother saying, you have to get palm wine, you have to get palm wine. I knew then that there was something not right about it. Nevertheless, I still just allowed her have her way. And they were like, once you take palm wine, your breast milk will begin to flow. A lot of Nigerian women still do that till today. Please, before we begin to talk about all that, let's establish a fact. It is wrong. It is wrong. The only reason why people who take palm wine end up noticing that they are lactating is not really because of the palm wine. It's because they've hydrated. It's the water.
Oh, it's the water.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you get it? It's the water. So when we're talking about healthy carbohydrates, Nigerians as well also believe that when you take pap.
I was going there. I was just about to ask that pap.
Yeah.
Pepper soup.
Pepper soup is good.
Pepper soup is good.
Fantastic.
Great.
But
then there are some spices they use in the pepper soup.
Yes.
That, well, I don't know, that allows you to lactate, but
is
would
it really
be good
more
for
like
your
lactate?
baby?
Yes, they are good for the babies. They are natural. They are spicy, so they are good. They can't be bad. 99% of the time, the spices we have are antibacterial spice. Yes, they actually help us fight bacteria. So they are good. They aren't bad, and that can also be very effective for the children. So the same thing, pepper soup, palm wine, pap, they are in their, they are liquidy. And that is why it seems as though you lactate better. So what it simply means is no matter the kind of diet you choose to take, you must hydrate as much as possible. The more you hydrate, the more you lactate. Do you get? So a perfect breakfast for a breastfeeding mother would definitely not be pap. And that is because pap spikes our blood sugar levels and can trigger the growth of abdominal fat.
But if there's no sugar in it, how does
no, the pap itself is pure sugar.
Okay.
Because carbs are divided into 3 parts.
Okay.
We have the sugar part of a carbohydrate, we have the starch part of a carbohydrate, and we have a fiber part of a carbohydrate. During the process of making pap, they remove the fiber. So what is left there? You know the fiber, that chaff part that we remove, correct? That thing is called fiber.
And that's the healthy part
of the healthiest, not the healthy, the healthiest parts of the carbohydrates, right? So they now leave just the sugar and the starch. Now, sugar and starch are one and the same thing. They are indifferent. The only difference between starch and sugar is that starch is a more complex form of sugar
which of course would break down to sugar in your body.
Which is still sugar. So that pap that you see is sugar. And without the presence of that fiber, it will spike your blood sugar levels, trigger the growth of abdominal fat, and over time can lead to insulin resistance we discussed last week, which can over time lead to diabetes if you're not careful.
Now let's just break it down to the food items that you recommend.
So food items, I would normally tell most breastfeeding mothers, especially those who get to work with me, do not avoid eating your regular yam, beans, sweet potato, plantain, moi moi, amala, pounded yam. You can eat them as long as you don't eat them in, large quantity. Remember,
that's the rule, though.
No,
that's the rule. When you're a newborn, that's the rule. You eat. You have to eat so that the baby can be healthy.
Not at all. Now, it's so funny that if I tell you that a new mother just needs 500 calories more than what she normally eats, Yes, to cater for a child. Yes.
Wow. That's a new discovery.
Yes. So if, for instance, prior to my having a baby, I was on 1,200 or 1,700 calories, for instance, my baby just needs 500 extra. They're tiny now. What are they doing? Yes. They aren't going anywhere. They're not doing anything. They just open their eyes, cry, eat, poop, and sleep.
But there's also this belief that if you do not eat too much, as a new mom, if you don't eat much, you get hungry easily. And then it also, you're not feeding your baby adequately.
So the truth about it is that it depends on how often your baby feeds. If you're doing pure exclusives, I know. So, such cases, you just split your meals into like 5 different meals in a day.
But in portions.
In portions. Make sure they are loaded with the healthy carbohydrates, a bit of protein. It can be beef. It can be, now, normally when we as adults, we don't really take dairy, but it's okay as a breastfeeding mother to choose to do yogurt, or milk. It's okay, it's not bad, And then, yes.
What about cocoa powder?
Very good.
Okay.
Cocoa powder is healthy. It's a natural food, so it's good.
Those chocolate drinks.
Do you understand? So
chocolate drinks.
Exactly.
The packed sugar.
No, not those ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know me already. We're just talking about the plain cocoa, avoid sugar. Okay. In fact, there is this healthy form of sugar alternative that we can use, even healthier than honey. And that is regular dates powder.
Oh, okay.
So you can buy the regular dates in the market and mill it to powder form. And it can be used on, like maybe your oat cereal, which is good for
new moms.
New moms. Okay. A bit of peanut butter in the oat cereal. Sprinkle a bit of date powder for breakfast. Awesome. And hydrate very well. And then you lactate well. So the most important thing is ensure that everything on your plate is nourishing enough. A lot of vegetables and plenty of water.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's so sad that we're wrapping this off this month, but it's always a pleasure having you on the show here with us. And if you're watching and you're a new mom, what's most important in your diet is having a balanced one and drink lots of water. We have to head over to the kitchen now. Let's see what's cooking.
Welcome to the Wake Up My Kitchen. Of course, the beautiful Wednesday in here, and the ladies are here doing our thing. And of course, I have Chef Blossom. When you're rocking the same hair with you. It's a totally different vibe, and the food is definitely going to be different on another level. Okay, so tell me, Blossom, what are we making today?
Okay, so we're making very simple breakfast. Plantain, fried plantain, and egg sauce.
Oh, nice. So all these things here, I've been looking at this is just for egg sauce.
Just for egg sauce.
So describe this egg sauce to me. Describe it. So first, let's talk about the ingredients.
Okay, so we're working with our egg, our Scotch bonnet, atarodo, green pepper, hot tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, our spring onions, our onions, the parsley flakes for garnish, our seasoning, and then our curry, then of course our vegetable oil for deep fry.
You talk about fish.
Yes. I don't know if you heard the lady on the couch. She said protein. Always support your meals with protein. So we're having the protein on the side.
On the side. So is the fish going into the egg?
No.
So we're eating fried plantain, first of all. That's like gold. We're not eating fried eggs. And these eggs are actually really big.
Yeah,
like, where do you, Chef Blossom, where do you, I told you.
I have a plug.
You're not straightforward. Like, these eggs are so huge.
Yes,
and this was like 200 naira for one.
No, it's not that.
Are you sure?
Like around 150.
Yeah, is it normal chicken egg?
It's normal chicken egg.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now, so after we're having the fried eggs, we're also having fish on the side.
On the side, yes.
So it's like a double protein diet. That's actually solid, really, really solid. Okay, so now what's the process for this particular egg sauce?
So it's simple.
Because we're having spring onions here.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever put spring onions in my egg before.
See, like I always say, you guys learn to be creative.
Sorry now.
With your meals.
Hello.
Don't be stereotyped, a particular way of making your meal. If you had allowed me, I would have used a lot of veggies in my egg. I can use carrot and all. What works for you?
Yeah.
But then you start, the major ingredient you need for your scrambled eggs, your vegetable egg sauce, is your hard tomatoes and your atarodo. Onions, that's what a typical Nigerian person would use.
Of course. Even this one is even plenty.
It's not plenty, it's just to add some.
Because to me, let me explain the way I think to you, right? If I'm going to be slicing carrots, green pepper, green peas, I will add green beans. I will just cook fried rice.
Oh, wow.
Hello. I will just actually cook fried rice because
and then,
why?
The thing is, you can actually skip. You can decide not to use rodo. You can use green pepper because they work. They
no, I love green pepper in eggs though. It really has a very, very nice flavor.
Yes, that it gives.
Okay. So now this is also going in the egg, the spring onions?
Yes.
All right. Am I just frying regular plantain? So what exactly are you going to do with the fish?
We're going to wash it. I'm going to cut it, wash it, then marinate with some salt and some seasoning, then fry.
Then fry. So you just fry simple fried fish on the side.
You can decide to grill or, you know, anything you want to do. You can actually mix. Some people do mix eggs with fish. I don't know if you've had it. When they want to fry their egg sauce, they
I know I use normal sardine in the fish.
Hey, that works too. That works too.
Yeah.
So, but this I just want to have it on the side.
On the side, nothing crazy. Very, very interesting. As you can see, this sakwa that is wearing a lot of Nigerians is not rich Shea Blossom side. So in here we're cooking premium and premium.
We are not
only.
operating on sakwa.
No, we are not. We're working on kingdom economy. I get it. Alrighty, so we're just gonna allow Chef Blossom right about now to do her thing, put this meal together, and when we come back, you know, we'll show you a few things here in the kitchen. Keep watching.
Thank you for staying tuned. And now we talk relationships. And today our guest is Olabisi Shoetan, a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach, as well as the founder of Secret Place Wife. The focus will be how to reconnect with your partner after a misunderstanding. It is such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for
having me. And first of all, I must wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. You've got the birthday glow going on.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously from the way you're all smiles, there won't be a misunderstanding at home today.
We actually reconnected.
You have several misunderstandings. It's part of life. How do you reconnect? But before we talk even about how we reconnect, why is it so important to reconnect with your partner after a misunderstanding?
It's important because actually connection is the goal of the relationship, right? Once you're disconnected, it's the breeding ground for resentment. For misunderstanding is the ground for, you know, comparison, everything bad, negative in your relationship. So it's like getting the weeds out, getting, you know, all this bad energy out so that you guys can have a thriving, happy relationship that you want. So reconnecting is that effort you make towards building the relationship you want. Okay, so reconnecting doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep forgiving certain bad habits that refuse to go away. Of course not. Of course not. So we are not talking about like maybe toxic things, like maybe you're with a narcissist or you're being physically or emotionally abused. But if you look at relationships generally, we all really struggle with the same things, right? Basic things like, okay, you know, our ego gets in the way, somebody's pride is hurt, or, you know, there's just a misunderstanding around how we feel. So the other person is not listening. And these are like everyday human issues. It even happens outside of the intimate relationships we have, you know. So if you're dealing with serious stuff, things that already make you suicidal, you know, then the first step will be a separation to protect yourself and to remove yourself from that situation. But in a situation where separation is not even in a consideration, reconnecting is important. Absolutely. So now we need you to teach us how to do that reconnection. Like, how do you carry it out? Okay, so the reason it wouldn't be hard if you're not feeling something in your heart. So there's been a blowout and we maybe snapped at each other, or we feel disconnected because we don't feel heard. I feel like you're not understanding what I'm saying. The other person is feeling the same way. And so by the time we finally stop talking, there is that awkward silence between us. That awkwardness where, are we fighting? Does he still love me? Does he still love me? Or there's just anger, you know, and just plain anger between you. So you find that it's important to, first things first, step away, right, and analyze the situation from your point of view. So it's like breaking that, deconstructing. That's what I call it. If you don't deconstruct, you cannot build back up in that case. So, but how many times do you deconstruct your relationship? These things happen. No, when I mean deconstruct, I mean deconstruct the issues. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you deconstruct like every week when you quarrel. Is actually every day. Almost every day there will be one random misunderstanding, no matter whether it's about the pillow or it's about the food, that can cause disconnection. Do you see? So, and it's quick. it's also a muscle that you learn to flex. The more you do it in your mind, the more, you know, quicker it becomes. So what deconstructing means is just being within yourself and asking, okay, what was that? What could I have done better? What exactly was it trying to say? Once you're able to, that's usually the first step. You may find that in that process, you're able to see that, you know, well, it wasn't such a big deal. Maybe I overreacted. Do you see? The next step would then be to be vulnerable enough to reach out. Now, that being vulnerable to reach out is in two places. You may have realized that, okay, you know what, I think it wasn't a big deal. I think this is easy, you know, and then you want to reach out to your partner to say, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, I hurt you, I overreacted. The second part is that you may still be feeling justified, you may still be feeling hurt, right, even after deconstructing, but you know that it's necessary to reconnect with your partner. You can then extend a hand to them, asking them to help you. Hey, babe, I'm feeling sensitive, I'm feeling a bit upset, you know, can we talk? Do you see, I want to listen to you, I want to hear you out. Now, if you are the one on the receiving end, the same applies to you. Being vulnerable in that moment, to be present, to say, okay, you know what, I want to listen to you too. And so that creates the balance. What happens most time is that I've come to you, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, why are you sorry? Oh, you're really sorry. Tell me why you are sorry.
Yeah, that question.
Why did you do it in the first place? And now, I'm now feeling like, you know, choked again and thinking, oh, I'm trying to make peace. You're making, you know what, forget it.
Forget it.
So when you're on the receiving end, the same thing applies. You have done the construction, you have calmed yourself down, and now you are extending the same thing they're giving to you.
Why do people ask that question? Like, well, I've always wondered, like, someone is apologizing.
Excuse me.
You want to know why the person is sorry. What exactly are you apologizing? Like, hello?
That's the ego state. And usually it's not necessarily from a bad place. It's just because the person feels justified in the thing they've done. Now, for instance, somebody reached out to me yesterday telling me, oh, you know what, I've done something bad and this person is upset. How should I react? And I was able to say, okay, you know what, this person is in that state. They're legitimately upset. What they need to do is to tell themselves, okay, I'm upset, but this person is trying to reach out, let me. But they're not doing it. What will happen to you is that they'll suck you into that energy. Do you see? So if you focus on yourself and make it your responsibility to be in control of yourself, and if I say I'm sorry now, all I have to do is maintain that state, that emotion, and continue to say, you know what, I see how you feel like that. I'm truly sorry. You would eventually calm down. Okay. Do you see? Now, it's dependent on if I'm able to move forward, keep going forward in that emotion. But what happens most times is that I get sucked into the energy and I also give up. It's because, well, the ego is always seeking to protect you. If you're feeling justified that I've offended you, what about me that I'm apologizing to you? Do you think that I'm not justified? I'm actually even humbling myself to do this. So that ego is like, no, don't let him do that. Don't let her do that. And we get into that mix.
Okay, so hopefully there's a correction of the misunderstanding. Reconnection has happened.
Yeah.
So your birthday cake will be waiting for you at home.
Of course.
All right. Happy birthday to you again, Olabisi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. At this point, we'll be joining Winfrey and Chef Blossom in the kitchen. I see a lot of plantains. Wow.
Mary, you see, but you will not taste it. Welcome back to the kitchen. I think that's a very, very interesting conversation out there, right? Saying I'm sorry and just being sorry and staying sorry. I'm not asking why, but I think it's necessary to ask why, Sha. Why are you sorry? You need to tell me why you apologize. But anyways.
Tell you sorry like 100 times. Keep doing things.
Yeah, so what are we doing here now, Blossom? Am I cutting the spring onions properly?
Yes, please. You're doing...
I am? Okay, great. Because I know it's eggs, so we don't want it too big.
Too bulky,
Yeah, we don't want it too bulky. All right, so we want to actually go to the plantains now.
Yes.
And
basically, you have a lot of cutting to do when you're making
yes, that's the problem.
Egg sauce.
That's why I just like doing sunny side up.
But there are ways you can make things very easy. Just buy them from the market. Buy your veggies, cut them, and put them refrigerate.
Oh, yeah, true, so that whenever. But you still have to cut it anyways, initially.
And you pick out a cutting day, like a day.
A cutting day. Anyways, in case you're just joining us, we're making fried plantain and an egg sauce. And, of course, Chef Blossom has decided to throw some fish on the side because, you know now, she's a big madam. Anyways, I'm making this dish. These are the ingredients you actually would need. Nothing too crazy. We just need some eggs, some onions, some plantain, seasoning, fresh pepper, green pepper, vegetable oil, fresh tomatoes. And, a lot of people say, or rather Chef Blossom says actually, that you can actually use any vegetable.
That works for you,
That works for you. So what's the limit, though? Is there a limit? Because if I know, I'm talking to my grandmother now, she can be thinking of putting bitter leaf inside egg.
Please don't.
Right? No, now.
Just send leaf to fry their eggs.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That was like
My mom has tried that before.
Right? How did it come out? Was it nice?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Listen, it happens. Just your taste bud. Whatever works for
Whatever
your taste
works for
bud.
you, please. You know what I'm saying? Bitter leaf will work for my grandmother's taste bud. But it's only had
my late grandmom, she used bitter leaf to make okra soup. And she didn't wash it properly. It was so bitter.
she didn't wash it properly. Okay, that's the problem.
We had this very big fish, so I was just targeting the fish.
Inside. Oh, nice.
Yes,
but yeah.
You can use carrots for this recipe as well.
Okay.
You can use your carrots, you can use
But I just think it's going to be weird. How would you cut the carrot? Because if you chop it, it's going to be like chunky inside the... And it's eggs now. Eggs are meant to be...
I don't mind, because I like my carrot hard.
Yeah,
and then for the tomatoes, you want to use hard tomatoes, not very soggy
ones.
ones.
No, not soggy ones, yes. If not, unless you're making like...
Your egg will look...
watery and all. Okay, nice. So yeah, I was going to ask you, now this tomato, I know there's this tomatoes and the other ones. And I think over the week, I bought some round tomatoes, but I noticed it's not the normal round red ones. They were a bit, I don't even know how to explain it.
We have different types of onions, right?
Onions?
Yes.
Okay, I know we have white.
We have white. We have scallions. We have the normal red onions. We have red onions.
Yeah, I know red onions.
It's the same thing as for
tomatoes as well.
Yes.
Okay.
But in the market, they'll tell you.
So that's
this one is Abuja tomatoes. This one is from Benue.
This one is from
Yoruba tomatoes. I'm like,
no, I know that for onions, they have different flavors and they are better for several certain dishes.
Yes.
I know the white onions are more expensive, which I think is racist, by the way. Anyway. Anyways, we have to go on a quick break. It is the top of the hour. We're going to start all over again, so make sure you keep on watching because in no time, we'll be back here. Don't go anywhere.
It's 1 hour down, and it went by pretty quickly. That's what happens when the times are good and we're having a good time. Before you know it,
it's all gone.
It's all gone.
But you know what? We have the license and the know-how to having fun. And of course, the kitchen remains a major part of what we do just because good food should always, like always, accompany good vibes.
Of course.
What is good vibes without good food?
Right. You need the good energy.
See Winfrey and Chef Blossom. Chef Blossom is even dancing on that. Is that the plantain in that big pot?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful.
It's a lot of plantain. A lot of plantain. And we're still here chopping away, but then again, you can be sure that our meal is coming together really nicely.
Okay, nice. We can't wait for the end result. Plantain with egg sauce and fish.
I've been using that to eye Blossom since she's not getting
No, she's ignoring you, I've noticed.
Don't ignore me, Blossom.
Don't worry, we are not close to being done. I would like to think that there is always something for everyone on the show.
Yeah.
Even latecomers like you who just joined us. But we still welcome you. It's okay.
And of course, we have less than 45 minutes to raise the bar, shake things up, and really get them going. My name is MF Imiokoche.
And my name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. Of course, you can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also catch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49, also on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Do not forget that you can also download the TVC app on Androids and iOS stores and catch up with our previous episodes on YouTube at tvcentertainment.tv.
Now, let's tell you what we have in store for you this hour. First off, you know already that we love birthdays, okay? Sometimes I think we love August is finally over.
Haters.
Haters. It's not a matter of hating. Our birthday was on the 16th. Titi's birthday was on the 10th. My mom's birthday was on the 4th. Beautiful month, August. But this year's August, it did me a shame.
I would actually say myself true. Actually, the beginning to the mid of the year was super fast. Then the end just started to drag.
It's like I'm not ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to 2022.
August was a born. It's a bit
I'm actually looking forward to September because it's Eliana's birthday and it's also my husband's birthday. Very special.
What day?
What are we planning for them?
Eliana is 15th. Hobby is 26th.
Wow, is that a question?
My dear.
Is that?
Even I was wondering.
Not till tomorrow, yeah. I always mistake his dates. It's the 23rd or 26th.
Are you sure it's not 24th?
No, it's
Or 27th.
It's 26th. It's actually 26th. It's the 23rd. Well, I think it's one of those days.
And September is
right?
Olamide's birthday.
Yeah, 22nd.
Lamb
22nd.
Oh, yes.
So
also
Olamide, King Sunny Ade, my grandma, and Min Jin and Ronaldo, they were all born on the same day. No, Beyonce is September 4. See the way I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, but so, right. August was...
Wait, how did I say it so smoothly that Beyonce is September 4? Like,
exactly. I'm like, die-hard B fans. Well done. Well, August was a good month, yeah. So.
Of course, it has to be.
It was. And of course, music releases this month. Nigerian artists are showing us that they are capable of things.
So there's a particular song I listened to, is one of this, the guy with the patch in his eye. I can't
that's Ruga.
Ruga. So I've not really, so his latest song, I can't really remember. I listened to it yesterday. I didn't really
Is it Girlfriend?
Yeah, Girlfriend. So I took my time to pay attention to the beats. I'm like, wow, music producers, you guys are doing excellently.
So I am glad you mentioned it because the reality is, yes, artists are doing well, musicians are doing well, but the secret to the spice, the producers are doing excellently.
And sometimes
is suddenly,
it's not even suddenly,
it's been making waves for a while.
And the sad thing is that there can be some great beats, but then you put a whack artist on it and they sing rubbish. And they just kill
Let's not loud that part.
No, just like she said now, she hated the song but loved the beats.
Yeah, like one song that Chris Brown did 3 years ago. And it's suddenly blowing.
I said Chris Brown has become an Afro.
It has. If he wrote that song with Davido, Under the Influence, you should go listen to it. I was shocked when I heard that. And it was Kidominance that now produced it. I'm like, Chris Brown is Nigerian American now. At this point, let's check out the weather.
Brown.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. The ongoing nationwide strike by the university lecturers, which has just been extended indefinitely, has made several groups and individuals unhappy. The Arewa transformational leaders who spoke in Abuja expressed concern that the continuous closure of universities will give room for more youth to become bandits, particularly in the north. Helen Osamide reports.
Of the federal government and ASU to reach a common agreement after 6 months of a nationwide strike is not viewed kindly by majority of Nigerians. The National Executive Council of the Union had, after an emergency meeting in Abuja in a statement, announced an indefinite extension to its strike. The union had described its engagement with the federal government over the last 5.5 years as filled with a lot of deceits at the highest levels, as it found itself a fruitless and unending negotiation. For the Arewa transformational leaders, the indefinite strike will not only impact negatively on the education system, but will lead to more youth being forced into banditry, especially those in the north. They call on the federal government to reverse its no work, no pay sanction and get the union back on the negotiation table in the interest of the nation.
I portray evidence to prove that agreement between them and federal government are not meant. In a situation like that, one strike is not seen as any way of showing flexing torso between them and federal government.
Education is one of the responsibilities of government. If you go to that very page where you have, the state objectives in our constitution, education is a right to Nigerian citizens.
Marvelous Emmanuel is a 300-level student of University of Ilori. If not for the strike, she would have graduated by next month. But here she is, still hanging around, and she's not happy at the latest stand of ASU.
They're not thinking about our future. They're not thinking about what we're supposed to do with our lives. I think that's the only reason why you go on indefinite strike, knowing that you are not the ones suffering it.
How reckless, how heartless, and how ASU leadership do not consider the interests of Nigerian students. It has really shown clearly now that ASU is indeed an enemy of Nigerian students.
ASU commenced its ongoing strike on February 14, 2022, after the federal government refused to meet some of its demands, including the release of revitalization funds for universities, renegotiation of 2009 agreements, release of earned allowance for university lecturers, and deployment of UTAS payments platform.
From ASU's claims, it appears that the federal government have resorted to blackmailing in getting the lecturers back to classrooms. But how far can this strategy go? Are there plans to meet the demands of ASU and restore the glory of the Nigerian education system? Helen Osamide Akins, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, outside Nigeria, the United Nations is seeking support to help Pakistan following epochal rains and flooding that have killed more than 1,100 persons, affected 33 million others, and destroyed homes, businesses as well. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in a video message to launch the appeal for $160 million in Islamabad and Geneva, said that Pakistan is awash in suffering. Torrential rain has triggered flash floods, which have crashed down from northern mountains, wrecking buildings and bridges and washing away roads and crops. The UN chief said the scale of the country's needs require the world's collective and prioritized attention, adding that Pakistan's flooding is a signal to the world to step up action against climate change. Wow. So you're already looking at that face on that song and you're thinking, this person looks familiar. And then you see the name General Pipe. Right. Yes, you saw it right. Because joining us on the couch is the legendary reggae dancehall artist, famously known as General Pipe. So there's so many angles to you. So many. In fact, it's been a struggle for both of us trying to figure out where we will start from. Because you're actually someone who is an accomplished musician, especially globally. And it's amazing. Imagine someone whose first single got featured on a global platform in a movie. People talk about African Queen because it's Two-Face, but then people forget that there have been other artists even before then who have actually done big stuff, and it's quite interesting. It's so good to have you in the studio. I know the music video we watched just now, Blessed and Ready, that's the song you're promoting now. But we're going to come from way back.
To day one people.
Yes, to day one people. So before we even start this conversation, just give us a snippet of that song that made everybody feel good. I am a born champion.
Unique and special. You are a born champion, yeah. Limitless, defeatless. My mercy don't champion.
Don't worry, we'll help you.
This is the song for the champion.
Yeah, indeed.
What me say? All the champions, let me hear Uno say, I'm a champion for life.
Champion for life. Nice.
Yeah, so yes, that's a younger version of you years back. Okay, so General Pipe has gone through the years. It's always a struggle in most cases for many artists to stay relevant, but that's something you've been able to go back, come back, still make your mark, go back. How have you been able to pull that off?
Well, it wasn't like by design that I would go back and come back. That was just the way situation is around my finances then. It's only when I just run into some money, Grim, I run into the studio, Grim, I'm shooting a video. And once that money is over, I'll be like, okay, next time, I'm to free me. And it got to a point I felt like I have to chill and make sure that there is everything in place, management, marketing, publishing, and all of those, and we can really...
So I heard you speak Yoruba now, and I know you were born in Lagos. What's your real name?
Ibrahim Olaiwola Majakodumi.
Good. Now, you were born in Lagos, but you do a lot of reggae, and you sound non-Nigerian. There are a few people who know you're actually in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's just love. It's just love. I just love the Jamaican culture. I love the fact that the kind of music that most of them sing is about speaking truth to power. So I just be like, well, if there's any way I can speak truth to power like them, Baba Fela back in the day, I mean, probably not to call any politician out, but just to say, sell the truth to the youth or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you pioneered the reggae dance hall genre in Nigeria here, and kudos to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now let's look at the evolution. You know, there's so many changes that's happened in the music industry here in Nigeria. It's experiencing a lot of changes. It's been there's so much fusion. So much fusion happening. Exactly. I would like to hear your thoughts on, you know, this evolution, where the reggae dance hall genre is going, and where you'd like to see it.
Okay. So the, like I've been saying for the past few days now, is that I am so amazed, impressed by what the industry, we have an industry now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to make fun of it. I'd be like, we just have a music scenario where people just come and do their craze and go home. But this time around, we have real international stakeholders coming in to like tap into the resources we have here. That's talent-wise, and it gives me joy. And reggae dancehall has never left Nigeria since we infused it then. Yeah. Everybody from Whiskey, Burna Boy, Ruga, Ashake, all of them, there's a little bit of dancehall in all of their vibe. If it's not the kick, it is the way they decide to do it. You hear Yoruba, but you be like, it was style Otulele. But from a music person's point of view, I think they just like going through another phase of reggae dancehall, which all originated from here, not like we are copying them. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so being a part of the story now, you know, we've talked about the evolution. Let's talk about you now. What is General Pipe about right now?
General Pipe right now, I've grown to see the difference between doing it for passion or for hobby and seeing the business aspect of it. Because like I used to just go record whenever I have money and just throw it out. That was me doing it for the love of music, like, oh, so that my fans know that I'm not giving up on them. I'm still here, let's drop a single. But right now, the business aspect of it is the new me, because I know that it is like a whole industry, real.
Yes.
That you can make money, you can be, back in the day, it's only when you get on Billboard or you get a show. That's how you get paid in Nigeria. And they don't have more than 4 or 5 guys in a year then. So all of us in the industry will be following that one on the Billboard all year.
Wow.
But this generation, there is business into it. People can stream and make money.
Yes, you can monetize even with just your sounds, TikTok and the rest. It really is amazing.
You've been on a hiatus for a while now. I would like to know the lessons that you learned during your break, and what's that different thing? I mean, you've been back and forth, but you went on a really long break this time. What are the lessons you learned? What is that? What are you trying to? What do you plan to change, or what do you plan to do that will be different from the other times that you've gone on a break? This time that you're back.
That's besides the monetizing.
Yeah. Okay. Initially, like I said, it was a case of, say, whenever anywhere belly face, like whenever money is on me, if I feel like I'm facing this here today, that's what I'm working on. And all of the quietness, all of all these times, I'm grateful, because I used to be so mad at myself for being quiet or this way, and I go on social media and your fans will be like, then Jekamo boys, like they needed my permission to do their thing. So what I've learned is put a little bit of seriousness to your work, because before I go back to music, I'd already started working 8 hours a day, office life.
Wow.
And I know that I put in those hours with all my heart.
In
12
Nigeria?
Hours. No.
Because this your hair.
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
9 to 5 job.
Yeah, it's not even 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is so awesome, because you get to sleep till like 8 and go to work at 9. Yeah. Or 6 to 6. Wow. Yeah, so that one gave me a different perspective as to how to look at my music, that if I can put 12 hours into other people's dreams.
Why can't you do that to you?
I just need 6 for me, and that'll be awesome.
Right.
So that really changed my perspective, and I know they play with them again.
Right.
Yeah.
Something we will not play with is your tummy.
Of course.
Your belly will full. Because when you were talking about the belly full, I was just thinking to myself that somebody is going to have breakfast on us this morning.
Oh, my.
Chef Blossom has been preparing breakfast. So we're going to join in the kitchen with Winfrey right now.
Okay,
so
let's
please,
go.
So you see, it's good to be blessed and ready.
You see, there's yeah.
Oh, nice, wow. Amazing. Okay, so now we are in the kitchen, and of course we have Chef Blossom here. She's been hard at work trying to put this meal together, and we. Oh yeah, Chef, quickly run us through what you have here.
We have in there scrambled egg sauce, vegetable scrambled egg sauce. So we're having it with your plantain, your fried plantain.
And your fish. Please, we'd like you to try it and let us know what you think about it.
I'm using my eye to finish it first.
Please just try it and let us know what you think about it.
Okay.
Nice. Straight to the point. I like it. Yeah.
Flavorful. Soulful.
Okay.
Great one. Well done, Chef Blossom. It was.
It was in my mouth.
Yeah. Well done, Blossom.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Chef Blossom.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who has been a part of the show today. The crew. Where are you going? Come and sit down. Come and sit down. And of course to you for watching. Thanks to all our guests. We wish you a fantastic day. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. Bye for now.
Bye.